So I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure when they said escalation, this is not what they had in mind. What is going on, guys? My name is Doe, and in this video I have a build for escalation 10 through 50, and this is the hard version of escalation, so this build is meant to help y'all make it not as difficult. And it does that because it has a certain cell that is pretty busted in this mode. And before I talk about the build, I do want to say that this cell is one that I'm not a big fan of. I do not like that it encourages a playstyle where you don't really have to focus on dodging, and instead you just face tank everything. And I wish that Dauntless would work towards giving players more stamina, having more stamina to do things like dodging, which is, I don't know, pretty important, or giving weapons more mobility in the sense of dodging as well. Like that would make the game more fun, rather than using this one cell where if you get hit, you can just face tank everything and you just don't die. Like that's my take on it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the build. In the build, I have a Hellion weapon, and I'm saying Hellion weapon because that's a pretty universal thing. Every single Hellion weapon has the exact same slots. The exception is going to be for repeaters because they have scuffed slots. Their slots aren't that good, whereas Hellion have really good slots. And I'm choosing to use Hellion weapon because this is a good weapon type for a lot of weapons. Like, it's good for actually every weapon. It's not the best for every weapon, but it's good for every weapon. However, it is the best for chainblades, and chainblades are also really phenomenal in escalation. But for the gear, I have the Reza helmet, the Boreas chest piece, Nasher gloves, and the Boreas feet. And I normally don't use Boreas gear. You might be asking, why is Doe using Boreas gear right now? The reason is because it has Iceborne. Either it has Iceborne on it, or it has a defense slot, so you can slot in some Iceborne. And Iceborne is the thing that's going to make escalation a joke. It makes the entire mode way too easy, if you ask me. And I actually didn't even consider how strong it was. Like, I was testing escalation and I never really used Iceborne because I don't like the cell. So I never really played with it. And thinking about it, just hearing what Iceborne does, you could be like, oh, that's kind of broken. And to explain what it does, well, at +6, when under 50% health, gain 30% decreased damage taken, and while Iceborne is active, aka when you're below 50% health, you gain 8% lifesteal that cannot heal beyond 50% health. So you're just perpetually taking 30% less damage, and you get 8% lifesteal once you get hit a couple times. It's bonkers. Like, I think I think it's an okay cell for Dauntless if you're learning it, but I don't think it should be that useful in escalation. I feel like there should be other things that activate the lifesteal. I really do. Like, I kind of wish that the lifesteal only activated after you took damage. Like, I wish it worked in the same sense as the lifesteal amp from escalation, where taking damage gives you a small window to leech health from the behemoths, to where it's not like active all the time. And if you're good about doing damage and getting back to health, then it works. But regardless, to discuss the rest of the cells, I've got +6 conduit, +6 cunning, +6 Iceborne, +6 overpower, rage, and rage hunter. And you could honestly switch out you could switch out the Rage Hunter and go to +3 Rage Hunter and also have +3 Discipline, because Discipline would put you at half health at the very start of the hunt, because it can be kind of annoying to get into Threshold to activate Iceborne and Rage, so it's up to you if you want to use that or not. I went with this just because I was testing it to see if I like it, and honestly, I kind of want to go with Discipline sometimes. It just depends on what I get for the first Behemoth and in Escalation. And you all might also be saying, oh, you have Cunning, Doe. I thought you said Cunning's bad. Well, Cunning's pretty good now because there are a ton of amplifiers in Escalation that either give you more crit chance or they work off of doing crits. Like, there's Violent Impact, which is, in my opinion, one of the freaking best amps in Escalation, and it's also one of the coolest ones. It's just so cool to see, like, the blades come to the behemoth and you hear the sound. It's euphoric and it's really satisfying to hear that kind of stuff. It's really cool. It's a really good amp. And Cunning makes your crits do more damage. You get more crit severity, right? It gives you more crit chance and it gives you more crit severity, making your crits do more damage. So it makes those things even better. And Chainblades have serrated blades, which is a guaranteed crit once you proc it. So in my case, because Chainblades just have a really easy way to do crits, making it to where your crit chance is even higher is not a bad idea. Because there's ways to get higher crit chance, like I said, in Escalation, and there's also amps that work off crit chance So cunning is actually a really good cell now, and it's pretty cool to see that happen. It's cool to see more cells being viable in escalation based on your amps and like the amps you get and your talent, your talent selections in your talent tree. Like it's nice to see all this stuff come full circle and more cells being more viable in escalation and making more cool builds also viable. So I'm happy to see that happen. What I'm not happy about is Iceborne being so meta. It's like it's like the best cell right now. It's so dumb. Like it's cool seeing a defense cell being useful, but I do not think it should be Iceborne. I would rather have Tough be more useful because Tough would just give you more healing from stuff, and that in itself is good enough, man. I don't know. Like I see the argument where it's like, oh, new players will use Iceborne and it's gonna make escalation not seem like death to them. And that's cool. I appreciate that, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, like it's too powerful, man. Like this isn't supposed to be like an Iceborne rant, but I do not like this cell. I think that it does too much and it's too easy to use. Like I don't want it to be freaking super hard to use. Like, oh, use up down A B A B. Like I don't expect like a cheat code to make it work, but I do expect it to not just be always on. So that's my 2 cents on the whole thing. And this is the build I used. And with this build, you can still clear escalation very fast. Like even with Iceborne, you can do so much work in escalation. It helps to get good amp choices from the start, but overall, you can do some really quick kill times because you're not really wasting time to heal. You're not using potions. You're not using the Aether crack or whatever it is in like the middle of the Aether vent to heal. So you're just always pressing W, and you don't really die either. So like you're not wasting time. Like that's why Iceborne is really meta, because A, you don't die, B, you don't waste healing, and you just don't waste time. You're always pressing W, and that's what it allows you to do. The only thing that I will say though is you can die in escalation if Malkarion eats you. If he eats you, it doesn't matter how much health you have, you will die. The only exception is if you have like Prismatic Grace or you have 9 lives, but those aren't that great. So I wouldn't really go with those. But that is pretty much how that all works, and that is also the build. And the last thing I want to say though is, for other stuff, your lantern choice, pick whatever your lantern you want, it's up to you. I suggest going with Embermane and Drask because they're just really good lanterns, but you can pick whatever you want, it does not matter. And for potions, you can go with Blitz Tonics, Frenzy Tonics, and Aether Drop Tonics. Those are really good potions to bring. Those are like the staples. You could also bring Borg Tonics, but I do not think you're going to need them if you have Iceborne, because like I said, it's that strong. And if you're in a group, Inspiring Polens are good. And if you're not using Iceborne, which I know this build has it, but if you're not using Iceborne, you could also bring some healing items, like Lifestring Pylons, all that kind of stuff. It depends what you're going for, and you can pick and choose whatever you want to use. But that's pretty much the end of this video, guys. If you liked it, and if you learned something, be sure to leave a like on it, and share it, subscribe, whatever you want to do. It helps out the channel a ton, and I do appreciate the folks that do that. And thank y'all for continuing to watch the videos and stick with the channel and all that good stuff. Anyway, y'all, thank you for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.